The International Court of Justice is due to rule shortly on a plea to order Israel to halt its offensive in Gaza and in the southern city of Rafah in particular. It's part of a wider case filed by South Africa accusing Tel Aviv of possible genocide in the occupied territory. Israel has made clear, though, it will not be deterred from pursuing its war against Hamas, the Palestinian organization that attacked Israel in October last year. The IDF says its troops continue operations against terror targets in Rafah. Reports suggest military vehicles were seen advancing from the east towards the city center. Fierce urban combat also raging in the north in Jabalia. The Israeli military says it has recovered the bodies of 3 hostages during an overnight operation. Around 250 hostages had been abducted during the Hamas 7 October attack, more than 100 of whom are still in Gaza. Their condition remains unclear. Well, let's bring in Alex Kadir joining us live from The Hague in the Netherlands. Alex, let's get to those hearings that we're monitoring from the International Court of Justice. What can we expect?
Well, you can expect in about just over 20 minutes' time a half-an-hour decision read out by the President of the International Court of Justice in that Peace Palace behind me. Now, all we know from the court is that the decision will be very clear. We also know that the Israeli officials behind the scenes say they expect the decision to go against them. So they expect the court to rule for a ceasefire in Rafah. That will be the big question. We do not know for certain, to be very clear, what that decision will be, but that is what we're hearing behind the scenes about what might happen in the next few hours. Now, of course, those decisions will be legally binding, but not enforceable. The court has no way of enforcing the legally binding decision that it makes. So certainly that is what we'll expect in the next few hours. We know, in the next few minutes, I should say, we know that the Israelis have said nothing will stop them, in their view, from protecting Israeli civilians, including from stopping the operation in Rafah. So certainly that decision may be legally binding, may come in the next 20 minutes, but it's almost certain that they will not make a difference on the ground in Rafah.
Right. So you're saying that the weight this ruling has is not legally binding and could perhaps not have any impact on the offensive.
Well, that is what you can expect, at least in the next few days and weeks. It will not have an immediate impact, but it does join a growing chorus of international diplomatic and legal pressure. The other major court in this city, the International Criminal Court, is seeking arrest warrants for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, as well as 3 leaders of Hamas who coordinated the atrocities on October 7th. Now, if those warrants are issued, that would severely limit those individuals' abilities to travel into 124 countries around the world. So that would increase that pressure. Another element of pressure, of course, is European Union countries starting to recognize the state of Palestine. Spain, Ireland, Norway in the last few days. Slovenia and others will also follow suit. But when it comes to the International Court of Justice in the Peace Palace behind me, the enforcement will be down to the United Nations Security Council. So there, as often, you could see a US decision to block any enforcement action. So as often has been the case in this conflict, the relationship between Tel Aviv and Washington, D.C. will be crucial in the coming weeks.
All right, understood. Thank you very much, Alex Kadir, reporting live from The Hague.